Alright, now that we have the gun disassembled, we let the action sit outside in the sun for a bit and bake some of the cosmoline off of it. When it heats up, it tends to be really easy to remove because it can actually harden and dry and really stick on there. So we let it heat up and let it remove a little bit, and we also just used some paper towel to remove most of it off the barrel and off the magazine. And that'll get you clean enough where you can start working on some other things. Like what we want to deal with right now is a little bit of surface rust on some of the pieces. For instance, on the magazine, I'll try to get it in the light so you can see a little bit of surface rust on the front of that. And that should come off if you use a very fine steel wool, so as not to scratch the metal. You just kind of want to lightly rub it. It won't destroy the finish. It'll just sort of remove that surface rust. And we're gonna have Jordan over here take care of that.
I'll try, you know.
He's gonna try to get it off. It should come off pretty easy.
It's going.
Now you want to, when you do this, you probably don't want to use any oil with it. The issue with oil is that the rust will get stuck inside the fibers of the steel wool and create more of a problem with scratching by pushing and keeping the rust particles in the area. If you do it dry, like Jordan just did there, the rust particles will fall away and you'll end up with something like that, which obviously still has rust underneath it. You can see that it's bubbled, but it doesn't look rusty anymore, and the surface rust has fallen off. We're also going to use this same technique on different pieces of the barrel band. Actually, the receiver, when we started stripping it, it has a little bit of surface rust, and also the barrel does as well up here. And the steel wool is actually also good on the pieces that have paint, like this butt plate had black paint on it, and we just used that fine steel wool, lightly rubbed it, and we got most of the paint off, and the bluing underneath it's actually fine. I don't know why it was painted. It was just probably an idea for long-term storage to stop rust. Probably way cheaper as well. The other thing you'll want to do is after you clean it up and get the rust off is re-lubricate the metal. I like to use Rem oil. That's one thing we've been using a lot, and it's fairly cheap and you can get it anywhere. Or Hops number 9 lubricating oil. You can use that on any of the metal pieces. It'll help with the finish too. It'll keep the blue look a little bit shinier. But basically continue that same procedure around all the different pieces of the rifle that need it, all the different pieces of metal that need it. And when you're done, re-lubricate them, and that'll get them without doing anything major, without going to the extent of re-bluing. That'll get enough done that you can put the rifle together and have a decent looking shooting gun. So stay tuned, and next portion we're going to do is going to be stock refinishing, stripping, and refinishing.